Hey guys, Kim here, copywriter with a particular interest in the fintech industry. Now, recently I've been analyzing some of the copy or the marketing in general of the best fintech companies with the notion that success leaves clues. And so I figured I can learn a lot from these companies, see what they're doing so that I can just get a better idea to see what's working in the industry. And I also figured that a lot of people can benefit from this as well. So I figured I might as well record myself doing it since I'm going to be doing it anyway. And so without further ado, the company I want to analyze today is Pennies. Now, Pennies is another fintech charity company, such as the one we analyzed last time. Now, when we click here, it leads us to their website, but then as I was looking at their website, there was a big fat green button that said donate on Facebook. So I was like, let's go over to Facebook then and analyze their social media copy. So right off the bat, you can see they're currently having a campaign, which seems to be doing pretty good with 15,000 likes, almost 700 comments, 2,000 shares. So I thought that I can learn a thing or two from here. And of course, I did. So right off the bat, reading this, one thing that stands out because this is such a common technique that's used, been used for a long time, is used in sales as well, is the whole comparing the cost or the price that they're trying to get to something more tangible. In the last video, I talked about the whole concept of using concrete terms versus abstract terms and how concrete tends to be better because it helps the prospect be able to visualize something in their head more. And this is a similar concept. So it makes £5, which by the way, the pound and euro sign confuses me all the time, but £5 to something more tangible, such as takeaway coffees. So it's kind of hard to imagine £5, especially nowadays, because everyone has like credit card, debit card. But when you compare it to something more tangible, such as your takeaway coffee, which most people drink, then it's more easy to be able to be like, okay, that's not that much. Like, sure, let me donate. Now, one key here is that you want to always compare it to something that's not really a necessity. You don't want to compare it to like, I don't know, like a medical bill because that's important. So you want to compare it to something that's not really that important, that it's like you can sacrifice a cup of coffee for one day, maybe drink coffee at home or something that day. So that's it for that takeaway. Now, another takeaway I wanted to address, actually going back to the beginning, or just the whole post in general, is the start with why. So I think most people have heard of Simon Sinek's popular TED Talk, Start with Why, and it's very applicable to copy as well. It's actually a concept I learned really recent from, shout out to Kyle Milligan, former Aguro financial copywriter. And ever since he mentioned it, I've actually noticed it in a lot of successful promos and a lot of successful copy in general. And basically, what that means is you want to start with why you're going to end up making the request because people connect to that better. For example, you won't just start off with your product. So in this case, the product is a donation technically. So they don't start off with donate now. They explain why it's important. So in these exceptional times, basically coronavirus, please. And then after they explain why, then they ask for the what, which is please donate now. And so I thought that was interesting. I've been finding it interesting because ever since Kyle mentioned it, I've just been seeing it everywhere. Now, I want to click on the actual campaign to see the copy going on here. Again, you see they use this again. They love this technique. All right. This is a small one, not really a major takeaway, but of course you always want to be seeming like you're talking to one person because that's more effective. I'll maybe make another video on that in the future, but that's minor for now. Another minor one is their use of the word desperately, creating some urgency because people naturally want to procrastinate we're just procrastinators by nature. So you want to add some type of urgency so that they feel compelled to do something today, right now, and they don't push it off and end up forgetting about it. So let's see here. All right, that's the next takeaway that I got and that I wanted to share with you guys is their tagline, which is because micro donations matter. And again, this comes down to the whole market research, which is entering the conversations that are going on in your customer's head. And I found this interesting because the last company I analyzed was also a charity company, but they addressed it from a different angle. So their main objection was people in general who don't donate because they don't trust charities. But these people are kind of appealing to a different market. They are appealing to people who do trust charities. They just don't feel like what they donate is that much. So it's kind of like that whole concept of every vote counts. It's kind of hard to really think you're making a huge difference when you can only donate $2 or $3 or £5 in this case. But here they decided to make it their tagline because they realized that that's a common objection as to why people don't want to donate. So they are really stressing that, especially now more than ever, like that it counts, it adds up. £5 times 100 equals 500, and then that just adds up. And so that's really what they're stressing, and it seems to work because I'm curious to know how many of these are tiny donations that have so far added up to almost $9,000. Oh yeah, 166 people. Out of curiosity, I just want to do the math myself right now. 166 divided by 8791. Did I do that math right? Because so far it looks like, okay, I did that backwards. 8791 divided by 166. I don't do math good under pressure, obviously. So yeah, that's about $52. So I can imagine that's a big range. A lot of people donating like hundreds, and then some people donating like five. But I think their tagline is amazing, and they seem to be doing a great job as a company in its entirety. So yeah, those are the three major takeaways. And to recap, the whole concept of comparing basically prices to something more tangible is very effective in sales and copywriting. A kind of a little quick little bonus, another way to approach this is if you have like a monthly subscription for like 30 days and your thing costs $77 or like $60, just to make the math easier, you want to be able to split it up into a daily cost. So like 60 divided by 30 at just $2 a day. That way it seems a lot smaller than like, oh, $60. $60 is big, $2 is small. So that's another way to go about that. And the second takeaway is the whole start with why. And third takeaway is the whole, again, entering the conversation in your customer or prospect's head. And so there you have it. That was the analysis for the day. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a thing or two. Again, I'm always open to feedback. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.